I am in a very Backrooms time of my life. In honor of the Backrooms movie coming out, in honor of A24 picking up Kane Pixels for his version of the Backrooms, shout out to Brugly for making like a ton of Backrooms videos. Yeah, I've always loved the Backrooms, and I've always loved what's similar to the Backrooms wiki that was created, SCPs. So I had to make this video because I've been nerding out, and my girlfriend and I were like, yeah, this video has to exist. She actually told me, keep the original video that I filmed for this because there's a little bit of a rant that I had in the original video that we're going to tackle in this video, but I'm not going to do it yet. First, I want to give an honorable mention to the Kane Pixel. Well, Kane, I don't know Kane's last name, but I keep calling him his YouTube name. Kane's interview with Smosh. They just look at this clip, and if you don't want to be spoiled, go and watch the interview yourself. This dude, I felt like my kind of people. I resonated with him with most of what he said in the interview. It was fire, and this is now inspiring me to really get on top of making my own SCP and making my own Backrooms level. I think I'm going to make a couple of Backrooms levels instead of like a couple SCPs. I feel like SCPs have to be, thought out a little bit more. But anyways, check out this part of the interview because it cracked me up. I wonder if I'm going to put both parts, but you guys just have to look at this. It's just cracked me up, and I was like, yo, this I love this answer right here. It just gave so much more perspective on his iteration of the Backrooms.
Okay. Assumption, one that I'm curious about is when I'm watching the Backroom stuff, I'm like, is there food?
Yeah, there's probably food. It would probably be really hard to find.
Yeah.
And it might be rotted.
Yeah.
But yes, yeah, I'm sure there's food.
Okay.
How do you define food?
So
Like food for who?
for me.
For you.
For me.
Okay, but like what do you consider, like what's your spectrum of food?
Probably broader than most people. Like some potato chips or something. Maybe a can of soup.
So like on the scale between soup and table, like how close to table are you able to get?
I've never thought about that.
Okay, well, if you had to pick a number between 1 and 10.
Probably like a 3.
Okay, well, yeah, well then you might be able to find food, but it's probably not. You'd probably die.
Okay. Good
Water
to know.
would be easier. Water would be easier.
Water'd be easier.
Yeah, water would be easier.
Interesting. You really know, you know all the rules to this.
I don't go outside.
Okay.
I do. I actually really love hiking.
Say I were to no clip into your Backrooms universe, would my body be functioning the same way it's functioning right now?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. You would behave normally.
So I would eventually get hungry, I would eventually get thirsty.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I try to, with this interpretation, just be as, obviously it's a fictitious concept. There is a gray area where you have to just say it's pseudoscience, but like,
Sure.
to the highest degree I can, I like to try to keep everything as grounded as possible. So
Interesting.
yeah, you would rot.
Okay.
On a scale of soup to table, how close to table are you willing to get? That has to be one of my favorite lines out of that entire interview. And I don't know, man, it just felt like Kane is just this same sort of mad genius, or that's me throwing my own headcanon on it. But it was very cool to see inside the mind of the guy that put a lot of lore to just a literal image on the internet that became a creepypasta. It's solid. And I like how he talked about the lore and the pages that he put, because that's what I've always wanted to do. And that's why I think D&D has intrigued me so much. Just definitely building up my skills over these years to be a dungeon master to some degree, or just maybe be the author of my own story. I don't know. Either way, yeah. And there's one more clip. I may throw it in here. You're probably watching it in a second if I did throw it in. If not, we just went through the rest of the video. But now I'm wondering, should I rant now or should I hold off until a different part of the video and kind of talk about like well, I don't know if I'm going to really mention 5 o'clock alarm went off. Yeah, by the way, ignore the mysterious pink liquid. That is some of that, the stuff he adds to drink, the crystal light, I think. But Brugly might come back in the rant part of the video. Not about the YouTuber himself. I think he's pretty cool. But from content's perspective. But anyways, yeah. So the Backrooms movie. I wanted to put it up on screen. So let's get it up on screen first. It's cool because Film Theory just released a new theory on what the lore behind this could be and what it's going to add to it, or something along the lines of that. It's been a minute since my girlfriend and I watched the video. But what was funny is there was, I think, a day, I don't remember the day, but I had a dream about MK Ultra and all these, the government programs and stuff like that, and thinking about it and how it connects to the Backrooms. And funny enough, they ended up mentioning that in their newest video when we went to watch it. It was literally the same day I had the dream their video came out, or the night prior, the video came out the following day. Insanity. That was such a cool synchronicity. But I think in the interview, he said their original theory on what his version of the Backrooms is didn't have the MK Ultra aspect, because I think they mentioned it in that video before, but they didn't dive fully into it. I don't know. The Backrooms fascinates me because of this whole it's a place or dimension or some sort of realm that is trying to remember. It remembers, or it tries to mimic reality. I don't know. And it's cool because, you think about subconscious thought, quantum physics, manifestation, all that. I don't know. That's why I'm intrigued with the Backrooms. What is it? The story is around a psychologist or a therapist. Can't really remember. And then this guy that works at a furniture store. And I heard they were doing some cool marketing with having a very digital and analog, old, not too long ago, but old fashioned commercial, promoting the movie, but it's promoting the furniture store, which is really cool. And there's a bunch of cool little Easter eggs within this trailer as well. And yeah, man, it's just, I think it's going to be a super solid movie. In my opinion, I feel like it's not going to be the craziest bang. It's going to be maybe for Backrooms and specifically people that are fans of Kane's lore and what the world he's put together and everything, which is another highlight of the interview that I really enjoyed. How he said he doesn't like making mysteries or building mysteries or stories without having probably the definite answer, or knowing absolutely what's coming and what's going to happen or what it's going to set up into. So that was another cool thing that I, pulled from the interview. See, lost my train of thought because I went off on something else. I just think that it's going to be probably a great movie for people who are interested in seeing the expansion on the lore that he's already set up on YouTube. And I just think it's cool that a YouTuber, but blender artist, he's so many more aspects. I guess a YouTuber has multiple aspects depending on what you are. I'll just say YouTuber, but he's a blender artist, world builder, so many other titles that you could throw on him. I think it's just going to be a pretty cool setup, just with how they film the trailer and everything. And we get the no clipping moment with the therapist towards the end. She's either a therapist or a psychologist. I can't remember off of the top of my head. But yeah, it's funny that this movie and Exit 8 are coming out around the same time. Exit 8 is coming out 2 days before my birthday this month, and then we have the Backrooms right after that. And it's cool to see certain video games getting movies, because it's I know it's personally, which is so weird, specifically in my own personal life, my girlfriend and I were both nerding out over these two things. She loves the Anomaly horror games, and Exit 8 was one of those ones where it's just it's weird. It's just this looping, and it's funny because Exit 8 is also liminal, or these Anomaly games are, depending on the game, are liminal in a sense. So it's an interesting thing. I think this whole thing is cool, just YouTubers turning their concepts and stuff into movies, or kind of Markiplier's was based on a game. You get what I'm saying, not to get political over here, but I think that's it for this. I like the color grading. The Backrooms got they got the piss walls down. It feels good the way they're doing the found footage in the trailer. Yeah, this is gonna be a good movie. It's just gonna be solid, I feel. And then aside from that, I think I'm just gonna get into my little rambling. I'm just gonna go off on a little Backrooms SCP rant or ramble. I just wanted to get it out my system. So this isn't really gonna have to do with the movie anymore if you guys are, staying for that part. But yeah, let's get into it.
I found a place.
Clark, what is this?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. I've been here every night since I found the place, and I still barely scratched the surface.
We're on to talking about the normal Backrooms. Shout out to Brugly for the background. Don't worry, Brugly is not gonna get the wow, the sun is really coming in. He's not gonna get no, the sun might like right here. I was gonna make a joke about how I'm probably gonna like no clip into some light level. Anyways, the levels. Let's talk about the rant. Let's get into the part that my girlfriend wanted me to leave in the video. Technically leave the old original rant in the new video, but we're gonna revamp the rant. So I had to get myself some nice iced almond water. If you know ball, that's for you. But let's just get into the rant portion of the video. Too many levels, according to my girlfriend. But I think I'm going to unpack it a little bit more. At least personally for me, it's not that there are too many levels or too many SCPs in the SCP universe. But I think, right, when you have something that's like this open source concept thing, right? I don't even know if that's the right sort of phrase for this. It's like a open wiki or a like a never-ending open universe where essentially with the SCP universe, we're the ones writing and adding to the wiki, right? I don't know if the wiki like entries have to get approved. I don't know if that happens for the Backrooms as well, or it's just sort of this thing where it's like collectively everyone adds to it, right? Here's the thing that gets me. I feel like, and maybe I'm wrong, because I just watched a video recently by Brugly where he said that, and it might have been an old video, may have been a new one, where he said that he likes the Backrooms levels where you got an entity in it and it's a bit more grim and dark because the Backrooms tends to be a little bit like, I don't know, kid friendly, no entities, safe, liminal spaces, so it's like kid horror. But I mean, yes and no. I guess they're I mean, yeah, like I guess I don't know. Coming from the man that's done like probably over 1,000 videos on Backrooms, I'm gonna let the expert have the expert opinion. To me, the Backrooms can be actually pretty terrifying if you go deeper in the idea of what it could be. But here's what happens when we need something with some edge, I feel like people take that and run with it. And what is the edge that I'm referring to? It's when entities just kill you. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if YouTube's gonna get mad at me for using that in the video. I don't know. Everyone's censoring themselves on the internet this day, but it's in in a movie video game sort of sense, right? In a game. I don't know if streamers still say in game or stuff like that, but there's way too many entities that just are apocalyptic, and the Backrooms falls into this category just the same way the SCP Foundation does, in my opinion. It's just my opinion. If you guys don't like it, it's all right. It's okay. It's just an opinion. But to me, that loses weight. And now, I love the freedom of everybody being able to make their own SCP or add to the Backrooms, and it's like this whole collective thing. But I'm not going to lie to you. I would not want to no clip into half of y'all's worlds. I mean, or levels, because like some of them are just straight up grim. Like, I don't know, entities where it's like, I'm telling you, this is, and tell me if I'm wrong or you have not experienced this. Watching like explaining the first like 0 to 100 floors by, I've watched a couple of videos by multiple YouTubers, not just Brugly, is actually pretty cool. I like hearing about all the levels. But one thing that gets to me is when I either get a string of like talking about the Backrooms levels or something. I try to actually avoid the most dangerous levels videos because this is what happens. I'm watching a video. Let me get a sip of my almond water. That's going to make me crack up every time. The iced almond water. Someone's got to write that into the Backrooms. Maybe I'll do that. If you know, you know. But the thing that I struggle with from the backrooms and SCPs alike is just the amount of stuff that wants to eviscerate you, man. It's too much. It feels like, oh, backrooms level 29. You're dead. Oh, don't enter this level. You know why? The moment you enter, you're dead. Oh, did you know this level had this entity that can kill you? This entity that can kill you? This entity that can kill you? Oh, snap. Did you also know this entity that spawns this entity can also evaporate you? Like, it's just like I don't know. That feels like it desensitizes me from learning about other people's levels when I hear 50 other levels or 50 other SCPs that are just dangerous or apocalyptic. I know for my girlfriend, it's more apocalyptic, where it's like the SCPs that are just like, oh, the thing that appeared in the sky one day and erased the SCP universe. Like, to me, it's like what makes apocalyptic SCPs good. So if you're going to write them, take my advice or not. But if I were to write one, I would make it where it fits good but feels rare. You know, like it fits along with all the other SCPs or the most popular ones, right? Or whatever established lore that, you know, people agree on, if you want to keep it grounded or just go off on your whole thing. This is what I would do. But if it was an apocalyptic event or creature or SCP or thing, it has to be gradual, and the writing has to be just immaculate. Like, it's got to be insane, because insanely good, by the way. Because if not, it just feels like a doomsday story or an apocalyptic story just for the sake of being just just encompassing absolute destruction or chaos. And she's giving me a call. You know, I'm gonna take this real quick. Okay, all right. So back to what I was saying. I see I summoned her. But back to what I was saying. Yeah, like if it's just gonna be the total, I don't know, if it's gonna be the amalgamation of destruction and chaos incarnate itself or whatever the fuck, you gotta make it fire. It's gotta be really cool. I think one story that was getting pretty good that people were recommending to me was SCP-001 or something, like When Day Breaks. I think that was beginning to be good, but I can't remember because I didn't fully finish it. But it's like, again, if you're going to make an SCP or a backrooms level that's just you're doomed the moment you're aware of it. It's like it feels like a fucking cognito hazard reading these shits. It's just like, this level is going to peel your skin off like Jax from the Digital Circus. It's just, you know, sorry if anyone got spoiled by that last line, but I don't know. It's just, you step into this room and there's an entity that just wants you dead. I don't even want to. It's hard for me to get creative because again, I know there's probably a niche like section of people that enjoy hearing the most demented stuff somebody can come up with, what an entity would do to you. But also it's like it's also like it just results in death. I think the creepier entities maybe are the ones that transmogrify you or turn you into them, like SCP and backrooms entities alike. You know, I know I'm throwing them together, but they're practically the same. And that brings me to one of my girlfriend's criticisms is, yeah, it does feel like the backrooms levels evolved into that. I mean, but of course, some, you know, with something like the SCP Foundation, people who love the backrooms and just it being this open thing for everyone to add their levels to, it's going to end up looking like each other. So I get it and don't get it at the same time, because it does. I get that same feeling that when I see SCPs that are just extremely destructive, or it just feels the backrooms levels feel similar to that, you know, start dabbling into entities. Because there's a whole bunch I've learned from Brugly. There's like, I think skin stealers or swappers, smilers, and all these entities. And I'm just like, interesting. But what is cool is how collectively it starts to build like shared common things. again, if you don't get the almond water reference by this point, there's almond water in the back rooms for some fucking reason. And it just heals you of all things, I'm pretty sure, or at least from what I can recall. And that's one of the things that cracks me up. And it's funny that people agree upon it, that, you know, people who end up writing new entries or levels, they talk about the almond water. That's funny to me. So almond water is definitely probably going to be in my back rooms or something level that I write. But again, yeah, it's just like, and again, I got to put my money where my mouth is. I better write a very interesting level, or at least above average level, if I'm going to do this. But again, to me, it just, you know, okay, so let me give you an example. This is Backrooms level 261, and it's an offshoot of 260 and, or, you know, whatever. I'm yapping right now because my brain is jumping ahead to try to, you know, make this story for you guys very quickly. Okay, in this level, right here, listen to this. There are skin stealers, this, that. All the entities that are found in what other people have been writing about. Well, you instantly know if you come across most of these entities, you are going to what? Perish. So what's the next thing? Now I write an entity. There is a unique entity to my floor. It lives within the walls. It's always observing you, but it only observes you when you decide to take a break and lean on the wall. It doesn't interact with you if you just touch the wall. It becomes sentient the moment you decide to take a break on the wall. That is the specific conditions. Now, already to me, I'm a little bit, that's a little bit fun because it's like, you know, I'm adding a little bit more depth. But then, right, still where it kind of gets me, or it loses me when I see stories like this, it's like, but don't linger too long on this wall, because if you do, this entity telepathically communicates with every other entity and they hunt you. And guess what happens if you don't find the exit? You're dead. Which is okay, right? It's okay. But then when you hear 20 other levels like this, oh, by the way, if you also sit on the wall too long and you don't get off when it alerts the things, it just sucks you into the wall itself, making you a part of its collective wall consciousness, otherwise known as death. And then it's like, and then you hear 20 other levels where it's like, by the way, this level's dangerous. This entity does XYZ. Guess what that results in? Death. And it's like, okay, if there are going to be so many entities where people are writing their own entities and stuff, you got to make them cool. The ones that literally I can remember from memory that are very cool to me, that I mean, I could have listened to these a week ago or something, are the entities that are like, there was this clown one, or on this clown level, and I think it was like an offshoot of the pool rooms, and it had like some thick water, but the clown entity was, it just stalked you, and it was specific to this level, and it was also rumored that there's like these clowns. It's not rumored. The part that's rumored is the clown statues that are like littered throughout the level. They're like these animatronic statues that it's rumored that the entity can look through the eyes of those animatronic statues to see where you are on the level. And the level did have all the other entities as well. And like the water was dangerous. Now, that's another thing that gets me about some of these backrooms levels, is literally the water being like my battery, but the environment being uninhabitable, which is okay, because I mean, you would kind of imagine like right off the rip, kind of like if there was a common sense for this sort of universe, that most of the backrooms levels would be uninhabitable. But I do think it's cool either way, you know, if you write it with unsafe or safe environments. But this level is just super dangerous. But the reason that level didn't bother me is because the specific entity for this level, it's not really recorded or known what the entity does. Now, I am totally aware that that could be somebody else's annoyance, but I see less of those stories than many of the entities that just take you out. I have not seen, I think too much of anything is a bad thing, of course. You know, you need balance in life. But I don't see a lot of backrooms level entries where the entities are just stalking you, but it's a very creepy entity, and we don't have any records of what they do, you know, according to what the author writes. But, you know, it's still, so I bet for someone out there, they don't like the whole kind of, what is it, enigmatic type of entity where it's like you don't really know, but it just stalks. I could get how that could be an annoying trope. But also, again, from what I've seen, the common theme between SCPs and like the backroom levels that have entities is it's just absolutely dangerous. It's just like you might as just well write you die. It's like, oh, there's this entity. It's got long appendages and this, and its bones are hanging out, and it wants your bones to hang out. But guess what? I'm not even gonna explain the gruesome techniques it does to its victims. I'm just going to tell you, you die. I don't know. I get really bored really quickly when I hear some of these entities. I'm sorry. That's my bone to pick with a lot of you are authors out there writing these, but it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I'm good. We're good. And I still like the fact that everyone is contributing to this open thing. And there's so many different levels because it is cool to see. But man, that is one of the things that gets me. And then I'm just gonna go on to my like favorite SCP that I think people believe inspired the Backrooms lore a little bit, which is SCP 3008. And I think I gotta just make a cut for this. SCP 3008, the Infinite IKEA. If I go to write an SCP or a Backrooms level, it's going to be inspired off of the Infinite IKEA store. I forgot the YouTuber I was watching that talked about it. I have it written down in my book. Here, gotta get my book. God Goals Growing and Glowing. But in this book, I had the YouTuber's name, and I feel very bad because I wanted to shout him out. But he talked about some people thinking that, you know, obviously a big inspiration of like the Backrooms wiki stuff and how there's mad levels and everyone can, incorporate their own writings to the levels. It was inspired off of the SCP Foundation, but also specifically 3008 inspires, I think, some of the levels are most loved. I can't remember for sure what it was. Now, that's my favorite SCP. That's hands down like top 10. It would be high on the top 10 list all the time. And I don't know, I think, and I also like that there was a really talented Roblox creator that made a Roblox game that I used to play years ago that was like you got to build and survive within the Infinite IKEA. So it's pretty cool. I don't know, it's pretty cool. But yeah, man, aside from that, dude, I think that'll do it for my Backrooms video. I had to get that out of my system. I am definitely writing. Now, I think I'll work on them this year. Just so I get it done and have it. I'll make sure I put a lot of passion and just work into the levels because I want them to be solid levels that you would want to explore. You know, the thing for me that's appealing about all the lore and that people create for their own Backrooms levels or SCPs. SCPs are going to be on the back burner. I definitely feel inspired to make a Backrooms level and multiple of them. I think like the magic number that's popping in my head is 3 or 4. And I'm definitely incorporating almond water and we'll see what else. But I'm definitely going to get one of those done. And maybe because I already said in a video that I would make an SCP, I'll just do that this year. But it's definitely not probably going to be as epic and in depth as the Backrooms level will be. The Backrooms level has to be peak. I'm going to think it out, and it will definitely be done by the end of 2026. Probably even sooner. It probably won't take it that long, but I'm going to ponder, think about some ideas, and really cool concepts for a level. I think that would be a ton of fun. And yeah, and shout out to Kane for getting this movie with A24 done. I think it's so sick, super sick. Shout out to everyone making Backrooms levels. And again, it's all love. If you make an entity that just is, you know, pretty much the tagline is dead, that it's okay. You know, it's okay. You know, but yeah, man, just know I don't mess with you. I don't know what sick things go in your guys' minds, but yeah, I don't know. These levels are, I mean, yeah. I don't know. Anyways, but yeah, that is what we're doing. And then my special little announcement is I may be taking a little bit of a break from LUNARWASLOST to do other projects. Just things are, just the gears are moving in my life outside of social media. So I don't know. My attention has been going towards that, but I definitely will drop by when I can, and definitely I'll make a video on the SCP levels and or SCP levels. Honestly, right? No, but the Backrooms levels and the SCP that I end up creating. But yeah, man. All right. Yeah. glad I got this done. Now the question is, when is this video going to be edited? Anyways, love y'all. I'm out. Stay up. Shout out to Brogly. I don't know anymore, guys. I'm tired.